Hi, welcome to Tya Talk. I am David Strickle, creator of the Tya Mindset Practice. On a cold morning in Palm Springs, we had a storm that came through last night, and it brought in a cold front, and it is for us very chilly. And you have to remember that I live in the desert, so my blood is thin, and I don't handle the cold the way that I used to when I lived in Seattle. Uh, but I want to talk today about all of these spiritual teachings and law of attraction teachings focus us on appreciation and vibration and alignment and vibrational frequency and all of these things, and all of that's all good stuff. I'm into all of that stuff, but I want to come back around to the beauty of the Taya practice is that all of that stuff, that big tent of spirituality, even the big tent of law of attraction teaching, all of that can be very confusing and very convoluted. And of course, there are a lot of people out there sort of peddling that, this is the way um, to align with everything that you want. And I think there are multiple ways to do these things, but I want to acknowledge that what the stream has delivered for us in the four pillars of the Taya practice, if you work the four pillars of Taya, you don't really need to worry about all of that stuff. The reason that I created this mindset practice for myself was that I found all that stuff a little off-putting, a little confusing. Well, wait a minute, I have to align with this, and I have to perfectly get into that vibration. And then if you watched last week's Tya Talk, we talked about the difference between allowing and getting into the vibration of need, which chases things away. I think we've all experienced wanting to manifest things and seeing them continually elude us, or seeing them continually begin to form and show up only to diminish and go away, and or dissolve and go away. And the reason is that there is a fine line in these things, but you can drive yourself crazy trying to dial into the exact vibration and hold yourself there all the time, because we're in vibrational flow. Our vibration is not the same all the time. It's always fluctuating. And polarity is the main driver of that, but also our belief systems are a driver of that. That's why Taya is a belief system, a human created belief system, absolutely, delivered by the stream, but human created. I always say we co-created it. It was created by me, for me in the beginning, and then I started sharing it with other people. And of course, it has expanded significantly in my teaching it to other people. So in the years that I've spent teaching it to other people, we have it pretty dialed in at this point. And that's why I'm ready to release the book in the near future, is because I do feel like it's completely ready for prime time, that we've spent years teaching it. We see how it shows up for people. I see how it's worked in my life. I see how it has created this expansive journey for me in my life. And I realize that I like simplicity. I don't like confusion. I don't like things being overly complex. The stream says anything that's overly complex is born of ego, not source, because source in the energetic realm are very simple, very, very, very simple, very clear. Everything is a frequency, everything is vibration, everything is energy. If you understand energy, then you understand everything, really, because the physical expression of all of that energy is what gets really complex. And the complexities of our world are all the matrix. So the matrix will have you to believe that dialing into the right frequency and manifesting exactly what you want is really important and something that's really complicated that you have to learn. But you don't. Really, the four pillars of Taya are all about allowing more source, detuning your ego, and detuning all of the limiting beliefs, or the things that drive the limiting beliefs that hold that natural state of abundance away from us. We do it to ourselves. Abundance is guaranteed from the universe. At least it's guaranteed to be delivered to us. Now, whether we receive it and accept it or not is completely up to us. That's our contrasting experience that we have as physically manifested beings. And it's okay that we have that. But those of us that are practicing Taya want ultimately more joy and more clarity and more abundance. Those are the three things that the stream has, I don't want to say promised us, but the three things the stream says are delivered in the practice: joy, clarity, and abundance. What else is there? What else is it that you want? Because abundance is a broad term. Abundance means all sorts of things. It can mean anything. It's basically what you want to experience. So, in our pursuit of joy, clarity, and abundance, moving through this physical experience, the four pillars of Tya move us deeper and deeper and deeper into those three things throughout our life journey. And where I see this ending up is, for me in my practice, becoming clearer, i.e., becoming wiser, becoming more accepting of my journey, becoming more accepting of the twists and turns, more appreciative of them, and then seeing how, when I have a storm come through, how it serves me. I recently manifested, as you all know, a major storm in my life, and I see how it's unfolding as an expansive experience for me already because I'm in the practice. And it's not all solved yet, if there'll ever be a complete solving of all that. So that's where we're headed with the practice. And with your continued practice of Tya, what you will find, as I have found, is that it's just this continual blossoming and unfolding of higher levels of joy, clarity, and abundance. And so much abundance that I have found myself a few times stopping and realizing that I have manifested really a very easy, joyful, abundant life for myself. And thinking that anytime I start thinking I should be XYZ, that's just the old vibrational dust of my ego coming back around, which is significantly diminished from where it was, significantly. And that old vibrational dust creeps back in sometimes when I'm in a lower vibrational flow, as it does for all of us. Oh, you should be this. And then I stop and think, well, I'm already experiencing really what I want to experience every day of my life. I'm not having to answer to anyone. I don't have any real responsibilities. I just do the things that I want to do and live in a state of joy. And clarity is my favorite manifestation. And I feel like I've manifested for myself significant clarity in my lifetime. So the comparison to I should be doing XYZ, or I should, anything, be bringing in more followers and doing this and doing that, all of that kind of stuff. I realize that's just the vibrational dust of my ego that's coming back around, and I can clear that through appreciation of the fact that I'm still human, I'm still physically focused, and I'm still going to have some of those desires, and there's nothing wrong with that. So the four pillars truly deliver everything that you need, and really everything that you even need to know to have this expansive human journey. Because when you get into the complexities of things, if you're into all of that, I've had people that have come through Tya that wanted to identify the vibrational frequency of, what is the channel of money or the frequency of money, and I need to know exactly what that frequency is. And my response to that is, you can have that experience if you want, but why? Why not just be abundant and appreciate what is, and realize that you're already living in abundance, and that your appreciation of what you're already experiencing will bring more. It has, and it will. So whatever it is that you're looking to manifest in your life journey, and of course our ego, our desires are born of ego. We don't completely eradicate our ego in this practice. It's okay to have things that you want to experience. That's what I call that vibration of, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice to experience XYZ? Wouldn't it be nice to have XYZ? Wouldn't it be nice? Whatever it is, wouldn't it be nice? I don't need it to be joyful. I don't need it to feel worthy. I don't need it to even feel abundant. But it would be nice to experience this thing that I have not yet experienced while I am physically manifested here on earth at this time. So here I am in this physical vehicle, moving through this life experience. I'm about to turn 55, so I'm well past halfway through, probably. I'm not planning to live to 110. If I do, great, but I'm not planning on it. And what else is there that I want to experience? I've experienced a lot of fantastic things. I've allowed a lot of amazing things to come into my life, and I'm appreciative of all of that. But I am not going to start a bucket list for me of things that I must do before I die, because I believe that that's leading into getting into the vibration of need. I've got to do these things, and my life isn't worthwhile if I don't do these things. Are there things in my mind that I know that I want to experience? Yeah, yeah, but there's not a lot of them, to be honest with you, and there's not a vibration of need. I have decided months ago, I was sitting and just thinking that I've experienced so much and had so much that if this were the end of my life journey right now, I would say from an ego perspective that I'm completely satisfied with what I've experienced. And from a source perspective, my source being absolutely loves what I've experienced, because source loves any experience. And that's really hard for us to grasp sometimes if we have been brought up in the matrix, as we all have, of believing that you're supposed to have a certain life, it's supposed to look a certain way, and you are less than if you don't manifest that. That's the underlying message there, right? That worthy people or lucky people, or however you want to describe that, experience these things and have this is what their life looks like. And if you're not that, then there's something wrong, or you're less than. And that's not true. Through the eyes of source, that's not true. We are eternal source beings at our core, and we are here to find our way back to that. We are here to sort of take ourselves out of that source into the matrix, and the journey of humanity is an individual journey, but finding your way home, which is really finding your way back to your source being, back to the purest form of your source being, which is the death experience. But the good news is that we can choose to experience more of that source being while physically manifested. If I write another book, and I hope I don't take 6 years to write the next one, we haven't even published the second one yet, it would be called Source on Earth. I really want to be the embodiment as much as possible, without needing the source on earth appreciation of all that is human experience. That's what Tya delivers. That's what Tya is all about. And that can mean financial security and abundance. Absolutely. It can mean living in a beautiful place. It can mean being in a deep, loving, authentic relationship. It can mean loving your body. It can mean being in good health. It can mean feeling good. It can mean meeting, people that you're aligned with and having these serendipitous experiences, which I also love. Just having a joyful experience in the day to day. That's so important to me. I've always been one that I've never taken tons of vacations. I used to travel a lot for work, and I was never a big vacation person, because I always felt like I wanted my everyday life to have joy and appreciation in it, meaning I wasn't working to stop and take a break and then go and find some joy and make that vacation experience my only joy. I do know people that are like that. They have this life of, very much they're working towards something. They're very diligent, and then they take a break and take a vacation, and that's where they're experiencing their joy. I always wanted my home to feel like a vacation, my car to feel like a vacation, the things that I'm eating to feel like a vacation, all of that stuff. I wanted that to be my day-to-day life. So I realized years ago that I'm not as into traveling as some people are, or vacations as some people are, simply because I've done a lot of traveling for work, and the idea of having to go somewhere else to relax and experience joy when I can experience that in my day-to-day, that was my preference. And it still is. Even though there's places of the world that I certainly still want to see, the day-to-day, enjoying life in the day-to-day has always been a priority for me. Hi, David and Cheryl, watching live. Cheryl says that for me, I find myself questioning whether I'm hammering or just joyfully thinking, daydreaming. I don't feel the vibration of need, but is there a difference? I think the wouldn't it be nice daydreaming is great. It's the I must manifest this, or I need this for what? I need this to feel worthy. I need this because I want to prove to myself I can manifest it. Think about that, because the vibration of need often chases things away. The vibration of appreciation of what is and wouldn't it be nice for what could be is really a Tya mindset. Again, there's no rules, so wherever you are in your practice and wherever you are with your preferences in doing that is completely fine. So don't think that we're talking about rules. It's just understanding the nuance. And really, what I started out talking about, if you weren't watching in the very beginning, was that I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of overthinking the distinction between those two things. I did a Tya talk on this last week, the difference between the vibration of need and the vibration of alignment, which is more of a wouldn't it be nice vibration. I appreciate wouldn't it be nice. In your mind, you're already there. That is the foundation of law of attraction teachings, for sure. And the reason people struggle with it so much is because I believe they dip into the vibration of need. And they also, when they're in their lower vibrational focus, they start doing work that is counter to alignment. Why am I thinking I deserve that? I can't have that. This law of attraction stuff doesn't work. It never works for me. All of that negative stuff that we do in those lower vibrational territories sort of erases some of the work that we do when we're in high vibration, when we're trying to intentionally manifest. So very often that intentional manifestation turns into hammering. The vibration of it's not here. It's not here. I want this thing and it's not here. Well, how is the universe going to respond to that? Right. You want that thing and it's not there. Right. You're absolutely right. We agree with you always. No matter what your vibration is, this is speaking as the universe. No matter what your vibration is, we agree with you. We are not judging your experience. We're not saying, oh gosh, Cheryl, you're such a lovely person. You deserve everything. The universe doesn't think that way. The universe is delivering the experience that you are focused upon so that you have your contrasting journey, so that you have the twists and the turns and the things that you want that you don't get, and the storms that come through, and the all of those things that ultimately expand you. Yes, we have desires. Yes, we can experience those desires. But we all know from the stream's teachings that just coming and manifesting desires is not the purpose of physical manifestation. It's not. We don't expand in that. We don't expand in it. That Ariana Grande song, I want it, I got it, I want it, I got it, I want it, I got it. If you've ever heard that song, it's kind of funny. She just talks about how abundant her life is, and if she wants something, she just has it because she has so much money. I guess it's a song about her life, probably, and that there's a shallowness and an emptiness to that. Yes, it sounds lovely. I want it, I got it. I wanted a bigger house. I wanted a diamond ring. I wanted a bigger car. I wanted, I got it. But ultimately, you want and get to an extent where that just becomes boring. And what do these celebrities do? These famous people that we see living like that, they find a way to mess it all up. They find a way to create a storm in their life to de-manifest. I mean, look what Will Smith did to himself a couple of years ago when he jumped up on stage and slapped Chris Rock. This highly celebrated, person, wealthy, successful, millions of fans, found a way to create some disruption in his life so that he has a point, or he has a platform from which to expand his being, which is why he did that. So the difference between aligning with and allowing and hammering is understanding when you're in the vibration of need. I need this thing. I need this to manifest. I won't feel successful. I won't feel worthy. I won't feel as good as unless I have this thing. That's the vibration of need, and that tends to chase things away. The vibration of having is very much about worthiness. Notice how confident, if not arrogant, a lot of really successful people are, because they've created a belief system that they are worthy of and in the vibration of the things that they want. But ultimately, when you're around people like that, and I've been around people like that, you realize that the underlying vibration, yes, they have the stuff or the circumstances or the title or the followers or whatever it is. But when they're in the vibration of need of that, there is a lower vibration going on that creates that ego-driven need and parks them there. And it's not comfortable to be around. And the reason that it's not comfortable to be around is that if you are loving yourself as you are, and you are in that joyful state of source alignment, and I believe most of us in this practice know what that feels like. If we didn't understand and believe that that was available to us, I don't think we would be here in this practice. But we know that that source aligned state of bliss in just being is the greatest vibration that we can achieve, well, anywhere, but certainly in physical, is being that source-like being. And those that have never allowed themselves that level of alignment or that level of vibration, high vibration, don't believe it exists. That's why people often say they would rather be rich than happy, because they don't believe authentic happiness is possible. And they certainly don't believe it's possible outside of being wealthy. They have created a belief system. Their matrix is having the biggest house and the most cars and a private jet is happiness, and it's all that is, and it's everything, and it's what I want, it's what everyone should want. And I will be worthy when I have that stuff. And I've even witnessed people that have that stuff that still have that belief that this isn't enough. I need more. That's why we see people that are so incredibly successful still reaching for something else, because it becomes this never-ending journey of one more thing is finally going to cross me over that line of satisfaction, but it never does. It's not very satisfying because your belief system is that more is where it's at. So yes, your belief system is always going to deliver you to this place where, yeah, you got all this stuff, but it's still not enough. You need more. You want to be worthy. You want to be happy. You want to feel joy. The only way to feel joy is to have even more. Keep going for more. Some people will manifest the destruction of all of that to then discover that the joy they were seeking was not really found in the stuff. It was in the coming to terms with the fact that, hey, the stuff didn't do everything I thought it was going to do. I had to go find joy somewhere else. And my joy was found in the love of self, which is source. So that's what I'm talking about all the time, is that source aligned state of joy that is abundance. It does allow material things. There are also people, and a lot of people in spiritual circles, if you start kind of exploring mainstream spirituality, you'll find these avenues that you can go down where people believe that material things are evil, not just in religion, but in spirituality. Oh, I'm of the earth. I don't care about anything material. The earth gives me everything that I need, and that's their belief system. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the belief system. But they are dipping into almost, if not fully, being judgmental of anyone who wants to manifest anything material. And the interesting thing about that is the energetic realm is always in flux, and it's not about trying to nail things down into a quantifiable measurement the way that we are. We are always about how much. So that's ego. That's the matrix. Source is saying there's no limit to how much, because you're ever expanding beings. And the physical expressions of source in your world, i.e. everything in your world, including the material manifestations, including the jewelry, the cars, the clothes, the houses, the yachts, the private jets, all of that stuff. Source is not saying there is a level of too much. What Source is telling us is that it will be a never-ending journey if you think authentic joy is found in the having of those things without loving yourself and being aligned with Source in the process or first. But if you just want clothes on your back, a meal every couple of days, and a little shelter over your head, thinking I'm going to live this meek lifestyle because that's what God or Source wants for me, and the material things of this world are evil, they're inherently evil, so I'm not going to have any. I'm going to denounce all that stuff, and I'm just going to have the bare minimum. Well, you discerning that the bare minimum is enough is quantifying your possessions in a very 3D matrix way, because Source isn't thinking that way. Source isn't saying everyone on the planet should just have enough. Source isn't saying that. Obviously, because we have this pyramid of manifestation on any topic, but certainly when it comes to material, we have a pyramid. There are a handful of people at the top, and there are far more people at the bottom. And the people at the top are loving and appreciating all that is about that topic, because that's their belief system. And the people at the base are the ones that are pushing against it and judging it and saying that it's evil and wrong and shouldn't be. So that's what we're creating for ourselves. Source isn't saying manifest physically and be a meek, mild servant of others. In fact, Source is saying manifest physically and have whatever experience of chance, which it all is, that you manifest for yourself, because that's how your being is going to expand in the experience. And that expansion as a extension of Source is going to expand that which we are, Source. And that expansion can arrive in illness. It can arrive in addiction. It can arrive in any kind of body dysmorphia. It can arrive in abuse. It can arrive in being in a war-torn environment or a genocide. It can arrive in poverty. It can arrive in wealth. It can arrive in manifesting great creations and inventions, the things that in the Matrix are highly celebrated. It's all expansion. And to Source, it's all the same. The person that dies as a teenager of suicide or a drug overdose came and had their experience the same way Elon Musk is having an experience, just to give an example of someone who allegedly has created lots of stuff. And I say allegedly because I know there's lots of debate around all that. I don't care to get into that. So thinking about all of these nuances of spirituality and how very complex it can be, and what a big tent the spiritual world is, just like what a big tent religion is. You know, there are religions that all claim to believe in God that slaughter one another in the name of their God. So look at all of the contrast that's available in that big tent. Well, in Tya, my goal was to clearly understand what is Source. Source is simple: love and appreciation of all that is, abundance, period. And what is everything else is ego, is the matrix, the collective ego. And understanding and having to teach myself that ego is not bad, ego serves a function, but humanity has moved through a period where ego got ahead of Source. Look at all of the things that we created for ourselves that separate us from Source. And now we're getting so intelligent in that creation, that we are creating technology that is so close to that which we are. So close. And that's creating this shift in vibration. And I know there's a lot of teachers saying that, oh, this was predetermined and this was something the Pleiadians are doing. You know, I see all kinds of stuff. I follow lots of spiritual stuff, and I'll kind of listen to it for a minute, and then I'll click on to the next thing because I'm like, okay, I've heard that before. But I don't believe that it's that. My intention of sharing the stream was always to detune David's ego as much as possible. And those of you that have been listening for a while and following, have been on that journey with me, hopefully you can, I know the progression, hopefully you can see the progression in my work of detuning my own ego, meaning not getting rid of my ego and just being Source on earth completely. I'm not claiming to be that at all. Very, very, very imperfect. But getting out of my own way and getting out of the way of the Source message in my channeling and sharing so much that we're getting pure Source information, and the pure Source information put into practice is what Tya is. That is what the 4 pillars are all about. Do those 4 things. Appreciation of all that is Source. Learning to actively appreciate, i.e. detune anything and everything through appreciation. Authentically appreciating every aspect of our being, every aspect of our lives, every aspect of our world, and detuning our judgment of the experiences of those around us. Sometimes that's harder, especially people that we really care about. Polarity. Understanding that we are in a polarized environment, therefore our vibration is going to be up and down all the time, and that we're not going to solve polarity, we're not going to cure it, but we can absolutely control how we react to polarity. Detuning helps that quite a bit. Detuning does raise our default vibration. But being able to recognize in a moment when we are in lower vibrational territory and know what to do and what not to do in that territory, so that we are not lingering down there, we're not boarding the thought train down there, we're not spending a whole lot of time manifesting from that place, that we are moving through our vibrational flow in grace and ease, allowing it to naturally go higher and higher and higher as it does. Vibration is always expanding, always. And we are the ones that hold ourselves away from that expansion until we don't anymore. Because we create enough storms in our lives where one way or the other, we're going to raise our vibration. Even if what we create is our own destruction and physical, returning ourselves to our completed state, thus raising our vibration, is guaranteed. We're being more active in detuning so that we can experience more of it while we are physically manifested. The third thing is source. Understanding what source is, understanding that source is appreciation, that source is the counter to ego, that source is love and appreciation of all things, that source is abundance guaranteed. The only thing that holds us away from abundance is our ego, is our focus. And then the fourth thing is intention. What do we want to experience? We still have enough ego, no matter how much we detune, we're going to have enough ego in us as long as we're physically manifested to have a desire to have a certain type of experience in physical. We're in a physical journey. It's temporary. We're eternal beings. We are in this expression that we are perceiving right now. You can get into talking about linear time, quantum physics, where else you're manifested, what else is manifested in your world, how eternal you may be, all of that stuff, all of those little nuances of this topic. But at the end of the day, we are perceiving this lifetime. That's why we have such limited awareness or knowledge of anything beyond us and our current world, the way that we perceive it. And understanding that the experience, yes, is driven of ego, and that it's okay to allow our ego to create desires for us. What next? Wouldn't it be nice? I have wound myself down to no desires, and it gets boring. It's lovely to do enough detuning where that you have so much abundance coming in, well-being abundance, meaning knowing that you're taken care of no matter what. I know that. Knowing that you're going to live in a lovely environment, in a great situation, no matter what. You are going to bore of that. You're going to get very bored with that, and you're going to want to create something disruptive in your journey so that you have a platform for which to expand more. My soul is desiring more expansion. So I have this perfect life, quote unquote, that I've manifested, and now I'm going to manifest some sort of a shift or obstacle that's going to create contrast, if you will. And in that contrast, you are going to expand or have I won't say the option, I think you expand no matter what in contrast, but have the option of expanding significantly in joy, in grace and ease, in the appreciation of the process. Or you can push against and fight, expand anyway, it's guaranteed, but have a rockier journey in your judgment of the journey itself. So Tya gives you the tools to systematically work those four pillars and raise your vibration and allow more abundance, more joy, and more clarity systematically in your life. Never stops, never ends. It's a practice that you can choose to do or not. You can fall off the wagon and have your spin out. That's part of the practice as well. And see what the spin out is doing. Realize that you catch yourself in this unwanted path and realize, gosh, I'm kind of off my game a little bit. I'm off my practice. Whenever I find myself in this kind of negative pathway, I realize that I haven't really been on my practice. Things get really good, and you start believing that, you get lazy, really. I don't need to worry about my practice. I'm just going to let go and enjoy, and it's fine. And inevitably, Polarity is going to pull you back down. You're going to experience something unwanted, which is going to then bring you back around to your tools. I know a lot of people have come through Tya boot camp. People are still practicing Tya. I don't want to say religiously, diligently, because I hear from them all the time. I see them in the communities and things like that, and they are receiving ongoing benefit. Some people spin out and leave and come back. I have seen some people denounce Tya. Tya is evil, or Tya is not the thing. Something else over here is. That's all part of the journey. I can say, though, I can't imagine anybody going through the boot camp experience and not being forever changed in that experience and gaining a set of tools that eventually they will come back to if they're not using them continually in their lives. I know that. I know it. So the practices for all of humanity, all are who align with it. Those 4 things give you everything that you need to have this expansive journey if that's what you so choose. So that's why I do all of this. That's why I do these talks. It was lovely talking to you today, as always. Yes, I had to wear a hat today because it's so cold here. My hand is like ice right now. I'm sure my coffee is freezing. I'm going to go back into where it's warm, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. I will see you Sunday for Sunday Soul Food if you are in the live stream tier. And I will. And we're still working on bringing back the Thursday evening. So we'll have that coming back really soon. And I'm going back to recording podcasts this week. So the podcast will be back up probably the next week or two. And you'll have that to listen to yet again. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate you very much.